With all the moisture hitting the valley, have you started seeing mushrooms pop up in your yard? I know I have. They're pretty common this time of year, but are they harming your grass or bad for your kids or pets? Today on You Can Grow It, Garden Master Jim Duthie explains what makes the mushrooms grow and what you can do about them.
This is the time of year when we start to see mushrooms popping up in the lawn. We're starting to water the lawn more, and the recent rain and temperature extremes makes for perfect mushroom growing conditions. What we call mushrooms are actually the fruit of beneficial fungus that's in the soil. By the time we see them, the fungus is already established underground. When conditions are right, usually moist and cool weather, the fungus shoots up its version of a flower full of seeds. But with mushrooms, we call the seeds spores, and they can be carried by the wind, animals, and even on our shoes and lawnmowers. Mushrooms won't hurt your grass. In fact, they can actually be beneficial to your lawn. Their extensive root system helps hold water, and they help to break down organic materials and add nutrients to your grass. But they can be a little unsightly in the middle of a nice green lawn. Most of these mushrooms, or toadstools as we sometimes call them, aren't the kind we'd want to eat. But if you're concerned about your pets or small children being around them, it's not hard to keep them under control. This is an area where a tree used to be. We've removed the tree, but there's still a lot of sawdust and wood chips in the soil. That's great organic matter, but it's also a smorgasbord for mushrooms, which thrive on the nutrient-rich decaying wood and other organic material. You can eliminate the visible mushrooms by knocking them over, raking, or even mowing them, but that may tend to spread the spores around and lead to more mushrooms growing. Instead, just pull them up and throw them away. You might want to put them in a bag in the trash, not in a compost pile where the spores can spread. Be sure to wash your hands after handling them. The best way to prevent mushroom growth is to starve them. Reduce the amount of water that is making the area damp, or provide more drainage. Aerating and dethatching the soil will help. Rake up leaves, grass clippings, animal waste, and other organic matter that may decompose and feed the mushrooms. Check for buried pieces of wood or dead roots. Mow your lawn regularly. Shorter grass dries out faster than tall grass, reducing the moisture that the mushrooms need to grow. But before you mow, make sure to pull up any mushrooms and rake away the pieces so you don't spread the spores around with the mower. Applying a nitrogen-rich fertilizer on your lawn speeds up the decomposition of organic material that the mushrooms feed on. And while commercial fungicides may kill the mushrooms, they don't get down into the soil to kill the fungus that produces the mushroom. Occasionally, you may see a circle of mushrooms. That's called a fairy ring. In most cases, removing the mushrooms and digging or aerating the area will control the mushrooms and eliminate the problem. Recently, some homeowners from Boise's North End out toward West Meridian have found a different mushroom variety growing up in their grass. It's called a death cap mushroom, and it's one of the most poisonous mushrooms around. Just ingesting a small amount of this mushroom can kill a dog or a cat, or even a person. This mushroom is not toxic to the touch, but if ingested, it will make you extremely sick and can lead to death. If you find any death cap mushrooms in your yard, carefully remove the heads and the stalks, bag them, and throw them away, and then wash and disinfect your hands, gloves, and garden tools. Death caps are common in many coastal areas around the world, but are now beginning to spread across North America and are showing up more frequently in parts of Idaho. The bottom line is that mushrooms won't harm your lawn, they're just not very pretty to look at. But a few simple steps to reduce the moisture and organic matter that mushrooms need to grow will help you get rid of them and keep them under control. For Idaho's News Channel 7, I'm Jim Duthie.
Man, he really is a garden master. Did you see that yard? Amazing. As Jim just told us, while mushrooms growing in your lawn don't hurt the grass, you shouldn't eat them. Many of them are poisonous. Only about 5% of mushrooms in the wild are edible. Some of those edible varieties grow nearby in the Payette National Forest, including those delicious morel mushrooms that'll be showing up soon. Remember, don't harvest and eat wild mushrooms unless you're experienced at identifying the ones you can eat. Say you want to go up and hunt for some of them, make sure you do plenty of research ahead of time. Every year, many Idahoans are sickened or poisoned by eating toxic wild mushrooms.